And now for the time that I've been waiting for, I'm sure you guys have also been waiting for a long period of time, is for this whole kit, this whole NoPro kit to get painted. So here we are, man. Finally arrived at this point. So now we get to finally put it on. I'm beyond excited. Beyond excited. One, because I've only seen NoPro really in the white. If you guys have seen it before, I'm sure everybody's seen that car, if you know what I'm talking about. But I've seen the black one that is like more street style, but it's not like aggressive, I guess is the point I'm looking at. So yeah, this should be pretty sick. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. Let's get into it. And here we are. The whole NoPro front bumper with all the black. Oh, it looks good. It's going to match up very well with the rest of the car. It's just going to look great. I already put the rear flare on, if you couldn't tell, just because I'm kind of just playing around with everything. Like I said, I had them fix some of the holes, so they are a lot smaller, a lot tighter now, so they'll hold everything together. But yeah, super excited to slap this whole thing back together, put it on, get some pictures, and get to finally enjoy this car again, exactly how I want to enjoy it. So biggest concern, and I'll probably have to build something out of wood or whatever, will be when I leave the garage. The hill is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So I'm trying not to destroy this first time out. So we'll see how well that goes. But let's get this thing on, shall we? Okay, so got everything painted, back on. Everything lines up, which is good. But I didn't realize that these don't have holes in the bottom of the flare itself. I thought they did. So we'll basically need to drill those holes and make the spots for it overall. But that's going to basically just require us to, I don't like the size of these holes being so small. So I'm going to step these up to same size as these, M6 holes, which will accommodate a nice beefy size bolt, which should hold everything in. Plenty of meat to do that with. So we're going to drill that out, get these up, and then if we're able to riv nut it, we will. If not, then no big deal. We'll just make sure that we line up the holes with our basically white stuff to make it just go through the bottom. So that way we can line everything up and we should be good. All right, now that we have our holes, we can put this flare back on and then line everything up. Okay, cool. Now that we have the flare back on and it's nice and tight, we'll basically just try and line this up, this edge up so it's perfect. Bring the bumper up and everything, and then we will use this welder's white marker so that way we can just tap it up underneath and then we can drill our holes. The reason I use tape is just so it doesn't mess up the paint and chip away at it. Makes it a little bit easier, cleaner, either way. But yeah, let's knock this out real quick. Okay, I took everything off. I originally was going to do it on the car, but it just didn't make sense because I was by myself. So pretty much going to put this lined up with these holes. I actually ended up putting a riv nut and some fiberglass earlier just to test things out. And it is in there. It's on there. Did it twice just to see, and it's not going anywhere. So I'm probably going to do the same thing here. Once these holes line up with here, make these holes bigger to fit a riv nut. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then that way these will be nice and secured together without any concern of coming apart. And this is nice and thick, nice and strong, so should be perfect. So let's get this drilled on both, shall we? And then to get everything lined up exactly where it's supposed to be, some paper clips. Makes it easy. So we'll drill the holes through the bottom, matching the other ones, and then the rest of this will be nice and lined up when we go to bolt it in all the way through. So, noise. Okay, so we got riv nuts put in here on this side and on this side. This way, when we go to put everything bolted on, we drill the holes through the bottom of each. So that way we can actually line it up. These are smaller, so it should be more direct. These are obviously a little bit bigger, but everything looks good. So let's throw it on the car. See if everything actually lines up. All right, so before I was using these Allen bolts, but I'm gonna use the OEM bolts from the oil pan from that 1.8 because they're the same thread pitch and they'll make it easier where I can get something on the edge of these to get them in and out with a lot easier of a time, because this doesn't fit. None of these fit. It's just too tight in the corner. Didn't think about that before. So little things. Words to the wise, you could either flip it the opposite direction and have the riv nuts on top and then have a bolt come up, but then you risk vibration, a bolt falls out, goes underneath the tire. So pick your poison. I figured gravity would be better doing it this way, but yeah, let's get into it. All right, we got the kit all the way on. It looks fantastic. Everything lines up exactly how I want it to. I think I can move the fender in a little bit more on the driver's side, but otherwise the passenger side is minty. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So everything lines up where it's supposed to be. Everything's painted. So obviously I need to wash the car, give it all the fiberglass, all the fun stuff. But yeah, this is entirely too low to the ground. Just crazy. So obviously this is not going to be a drivable state. I wish I had like bag or something just for the initial time period, but because I don't and I'm static, pretty much going to raise the car a little bit, maybe like half an inch, see if that helps a little bit, because right now I can't even get my foot underneath. Whereas before I could definitely get the front edge, probably on my Vans. Let me try those first. So I can't even get my Vans underneath this. So with that in mind, we definitely need to raise it up. And because over the weekend I was taking some pictures and everything, drove it out to the front of the driveway, and man, it even bottomed out right there, just going straight. So I know we're in a dangerous area as far as where we're at lowness wise. So we'll raise it up. I don't think it'll be that bad overall. Eventually we'll get some new wheels and tires, see if we can get some better fitment overall. But right now, I mean, we're looking pretty freaking dialed right now. So no big deal if I raise it up just a hair. Should be good. And then I have a plan for sidewalk, because that thing is massive. If you saw my Instagram post, sidewalk is like an 8-inch drop or whatever. So basically need to come up with a game plan of making something removable to where I can put it out there and then obviously get in the drive without minimal damage of destroying this. Out and about, I'm screwed, but otherwise, yeah, part of lifestyle, right? All right, we're back home. We got some other packages that we have to go through. But first, this is more so for this one, so I can actually get out of the driveway. So let's get this open real quick. This is one of those cool to have things. And I've been contemplating getting it for a while. Just wasn't really sure that this is what I wanted to end up going with. But after talking with another fellow Miata owner, I ended up biting the bullet and just buying them. So here we have some ramps to essentially set up outside in front of the garage, so that way it can essentially roll up, hopefully at a lesser angle, and make it a little bit easier so I don't damage the front lip on everything. And yeah, that's the overall goal with this part of it. So we got two, just to cover pretty much all of the driveways, so I can go as at an angle as possible, which will be fantastic. I've got some stoppers, but I have an HOA, which probably won't let me put these into the ground. So it's the funds of HOA life. But overall, they're removable, so I can just set them side by side, roll over them. They're obviously pretty heavy, so they're not going to really go anywhere, is my guess. But yeah, I've seen a couple floating around that were kind of smaller, so I bought some of the bigger ones just to see if I can get as much surface area as possible and go from there. So package number one, we have all that good to go now. So now we can focus on getting the other packages over. This one should be more towards Chanel to get her going and quiet, hopefully. So let's open this up real quick, and I'll keep you guys with me on this one. This should just be some 2.5-inch exhaust pipe. Yep, perfect, made in China. So we'll be able to use that and essentially can hook up the rest of the center section to hook up to what's left. And this is last but not least, piece that goes with that as well. Ooh, almost had it. There we go. Better angles usually help out that kind of stuff. And let me actually put you guys down. So let's cut it open real quick and see what we got, shall we? This is just stuff to get it running, get it nice and cheap, to make it all work. And then, you know, somebody needs it, it'll work out great for them. Wow. Actually, we'll see if it lines up first with everything, but overall, not looking too shabby. Looking good. that, we have an exhaust from Amazon. It's going to be pretty good. I'm actually kind of surprised at how well the welds are. You know what I mean? Not you know, the worst thing ever. So we'll see how it works. I had an eBay stuff for an OBX header and everything from before. Didn't have any problems with it. So we'll see if this works out pretty well. But have the 2.5 inch so that way I can actually make that fit this, or 2.2 1/4 inch pipe that I can make the center section for the straight pipe, and then just lop off one of these ends, whichever end's the right one, to make that a V-band, and should be golden. But this came with hardware, so we'll leave the back half. Hopefully it looks like it came with some gaskets too, so we'll use all that. But otherwise, yeah, should be pretty straightforward. So now we have everything open, so we can get Chanel back together, hopefully this weekend, get her running, get it nice and quiet, and idling for more than 10 seconds, let the water kind of get up to temp and everything, so that'll be good. And then we can actually hopefully get this car running as well, maybe not, but to raise it at a minimum, so that way we can try and use these to get out. I want to try it with the other car, just the speed, see if it works out actually at all, or if it's just a waste of time, but yeah, let's try it out. All right, so we're in the car. Let's see if we can't get this thing, just let me roll straight back. Nice. This is in the Speed 3 that's not lifted or raised or shortened or anything really, so I can just drive straight, which is kind of nice. In the grand scheme of things, it makes it a lot easier to get up and down on the driveway without worrying about anything, so that's nice. But wish HOA would let me keep it here. All right, just had to make some V-bands, some homemade V-bands. Not bad, not bad. Some are better than others, but you know, does the job. So, but yeah, we basically, where everything's lined up currently, underneath, I'm trying to juggle knocking this exhaust over. Underneath, you probably won't be able to see much, but let me turn the flash on. Okay, flash enabled. Now you can see, we just have to make our straight pipe, but you see how angled the manifold, exhaust manifold part is? It's up. It's really high up. I should just take it off, cut it off, make it straight, make life a lot easier, but I'm going with the V-band option. So, yeah, hence. So now we're going to use our heat tape to tape it up and then line it up, make sure it works before we laze it into place and go from there. All right, so in the process of welding some stuff up, but overall, this is what our straight pipe is going to look like, just to get it bolted up and under here. Still needs to be worked probably a little bit further back, but at least for now, we'll have the center section done and out of the way. A couple pipe cuts just to make it go, just because of this giant angle. You can't really see it, but if you're in person, you can see it. So get this stuff all the way out, fully welded on, and that will be done. And then we can try and fire the car up, at least let it warm up for a little bit. But yeah, happy this one came together pretty quick in comparison to the other ones, so cool. All right, now it's time to actually get this thing welded on. Got it cleaned up a little bit, wiped it down with some alcohol. So we will get to weld in, shall we? I'd use TIG, but I'm out of gas, so I'll still need to refill that one day. But yeah, maybe we'll do the job for now. Well, while being under here, I just decided to tighten everything up, and we have clearance now for the axle itself. So very happy with that. And I got a good enough clearance just in case, you know, there's any movement or whatever. But yeah, we're looking good. We're looking real good at that point, so you can see a little bit of light. But we still need to trim this side of it a little bit. So we're gonna try and just take a, I don't know, small smidge off of there. It's probably gonna clank on hard bumps and whatnot, but we'll just grind it back a little ways and should be set. Finally. All right, and just like that, our exhaust is nice and sealed up all the way, so we're looking good there. We're looking good, like I said, back here. Going from the back side, oh my gosh. All the way up here, which is the important bit. So now that we're clear of the axle, feel a lot better. Now we can really start the car up, drive around, see where we're at, because now the exhaust is completely done. All right, we can put it on the ground. All right, so we're gonna basically go through, I'm just gonna swap out 1.6 injectors real quick from the RX-7 these 460s, I think is what they are. So swap these out real quick, just so it's all stock. Don't have any concerns. Should be good. Well, after all that smoke and everything, and the car kind of sputtered to an end, I decided to take the valve cover off just to check and see if everything's looking good under here. And everything, for the most part, was, but all the spark plugs themselves were wet, full of oil. So needed to obviously get rid of all that, clean all that out. So used my oil extractor, got as much oil out as I could get. And then from there, we were able to, clean all the spark plugs up, clean them off with a little acetone, make sure all the oil is completely gone, put them back in there. Now, because the initial, that's the one, the Capri cover that I had for that car, it has a crack in it. So if I were to put it on this, it's going to leak, right? So I don't really care about leaking. So I'm going to go ahead and use the OEM one that I have a spare one of. I'm going to just cut this off so you can see the lovely cam gears. And then, grind it down, make it soft real quick, throw this on with our gasket, and then we should be good from this end. So let's knock that out, and then we can move over to that. All right, this will do for now. Overall, cut, shaved, should be good. So we'll throw this on, put everything together, then we should be set. Woohoo! Maybe paint this one day, but not really a focus. So keep it going. And you should know by now to put RTV in the corners of everything. Just precaution. You should know. But if you're learning it from me, you're too far gone, man. Just sell it, sell it to me.